Boxsesh. 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 Boxsesh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Boxsesh. My name is Mac.
My name is Jay.
And guys, Mother's Day is coming.
Yes.
And so for this episode, we have a very, very special guest. My dear mother, Miss G. Miss G, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, Mom. Before we start the official interview, I want to interject with something. So, part of being a man, and I think part of growing, is reflecting and looking back in your life and just looking at what you did. And when I think of you, I kind of think of the little asshole I was to you, and the little demon child, and how I was so mean to you. And I look back, and it's just so disappointing, like how much you've given us and how hard of like a worker you were for me. And I don't know why I didn't see it. And it's unfair to you, because when I talk about you, I go, what I learned from my mom is like my faith. And what I learned from my dad is like a hard work ethic. But that's unfair to you because your work ethic is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And I feel like I just didn't see it until I got older. But you think about it, like my dad worked, the reason why I was like, my dad's such a hard worker is because he always worked graveyard, right? He would always be leaving that night. And my mom would be home. And my mom would be there in the morning. She'd get us ready for school. I'd go to school. Don't really think about it. What is my mom doing? She's going to work. She's going to work and she's busting her ass. And my dad picks us up. They have this whole routine. I'm gonna pick the kids up. I'm gonna make dinner. My mom's still busting her ass at work. She comes home. She helps us with homework. And she's getting us ready for bed. And my dad has to get sleep because he's got to get ready for his graveyard shift. And I just never gave you that credit of like, you're such a hard worker. And guess what? When she came home from work and was helping us with homework, she was also working. You had your little station set up.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell you, like, because we're not really good at like sharing our emotions. We don't have, like emotional talks too often, which, we should totally have it. But as a Mother's Day, pre-Mother's Day gift, it's like, I'm sorry. And like, I appreciate you and I love you. And I know how much you do for me. And I know the reason why I'm alive to this day is because of how much you prayed for me and for all of us. And I want to let you know that I pray for you too.
Oh, mijo, thank you. That's the best gift that you can give me. Thank you.
And I know Jake also has something too.
So something along the lines with prayer too. So in high school, I think it was like sophomore year, I was struggling with school and stuff. And I remember I came over one day and you pulled me to the side to talk to me and you gave me a card. And I still have it. I still use it. You gave it to me because I was kind of a little lost, and it helped me, and I've had it ever since. And I told Steven earlier, it was funny when that happened. I still have this. It's always in my car. So every time when I was growing up, even when I moved out, every time I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do. I always had this card. So I always kept it. So it helped me out so much, and I remember that.
Oh,
St. Jude. St. Jude.
Yep. St. Jude, yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
Oh, that makes me so happy to know that you kept it, first of all, and that it helped you, right?
Yeah, and you know what, Tia Carmen, you took me in like a son. You guys, when I first moved out here, you guys took me in, and it was awesome. I didn't have brothers, and it was always awesome. You guys were always very welcoming of me, coming over all the time, and always being around. It was like I could imagine how much more trouble was having an extra boy in the house, and it was like we were always rough,
right?
Making a mess, doing stuff, and it was just I always appreciated it, and it was just it's like you were always like a second mom to me growing up, and it was just I appreciate that from you very much.
And I love you like a son too. I love the girls, Julia, Julissa, and I'm sure that Tia Lisa and Uncle John love you, my kids.
Of course.
Because we're very close family and we love each other. So yes, you like my son.
No,
So
I appreciate it. It was awesome.
So so that was our little intro. But
Yes.
part of why
Thank
I
you,
want my
Mia.
mom here is because I want you to share your story because
Okay.
it's a beautiful story, and I think it's a lot of perseverance and it should be shown
Oh yeah.
because you're an awesome person
thank you.
and my
mijo.
mama. And it's my show, so I can do what I want.
Yo.
Cool. So the first question I want to ask is from the beginning. We're going back.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like being born in Mexico, and especially as a woman? Because I know our culture's different.
Mm-hmm.
So can you give me the rundown? How was it like growing up? What was it?
Because I pretty much grew up in Mexico and came to the United States when I was 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I really didn't have the opportunity to work
Yeah.
in Mexico.
Okay.
So I don't think I experienced any
Anything different from
anything
from
different.
the U.S. or kind
yeah,
of?
Okay.
or even in Mexico, usually women are treated different than
Yeah.
men, and I didn't get to see that because I didn't work or anything. I
Okay.
just went
Oh,
to
'cause you were just
school.
like- okay.
Yeah, I was just like a teenager, so
Okay.
life was not.
So you're it was just a regular.
Just like a teenager, life was not easy for us
course.
because my dad will come to United States,
Yeah.
like for 16 years he was coming back and
wow.
forth to United States. He would stay most of the year.
Oh my
Wow.
god!
And here in the United States, so my
Just
mom
sending money back home, right?
and
Yeah.
send the money, so my mom was really the one that was
Raising
Raising
you
all
guys.
of
raising
you.
Wow.
7 kids
That's
by
a-
her
that's a lot.
own.
Wow.
So it's like, you think I'm tough? She's tougher, huh? But no, she.
Shout out Nana
I
Carmen.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, she had.
Yeah.
She was by herself pretty much,
Yeah.
and so. The only thing is like that she raised us, so then she was raised differently than here, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
so she was expecting us as girls to be
Cleaning. and
be
cooking
perfect
and-
to be a housewife, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Okay,
You
she's
know,
preparing
so-
you
Yeah.
to
preparing
to
me
get
for
married.
that.
So
Yeah,
you
so we
raise
would
a
have
family.
our chores.
and-
So
Yeah.
we have like Saturday mornings. My job was to iron everybody's clothes.
What?
Like
So
your
that was my
sisters
job.
too?
Everybody's,
Oh my
because they
God.
would do something else,
Oh,
and
okay.
Okay.
we have chores. We
Okay.
split
Gotcha.
the work, and yeah.
So that was your.
Shit.
So that was
Perfect.
my job,
Okay.
But yeah, and the one thing I did not like
Ooh,
is
tell me.
that I know is that my brother, one of my brothers, Tio Hector, he always had girlfriends, and he was always, and he was always, he would never come home to eat dinner on time, right?
Oh my
So then
gosh.
he will come home late around 7. We used to eat dinner at 3. The dinner was at
wow.
3
3
p.m.
p.m.?
3 p.m.
Wow.
was dinner. Yeah. And around 7, you just had like a cup of coffee, a cup of milk with a Mexican bread or something.
Dessert,
But
okay.
dinner is at 3, like around 3 p.m.
Okay.
my
Everybody
God.
eats
Wow.
dinner around that time. Yeah.
Wow.
And so he will come home like around 7 and then or later, and then my mom will ask me to warm up his food and warm up the tortillas and everything because he was coming home late, Oh, I never liked that. Yeah, because
Was it always you that she asked? Or did you
most
take
of the
turns with
time. No, it was most of the time it was me. But I feel like maybe my mom felt like I was being a rebel because I always complained. I said, no, I don't want to do it. He knows what time he's supposed to be here. And he's not here, right?
And I was like, she's a fiery one.
Exactly. So I really felt like my mom was like, she's a rebel. I better.
Let me whip her in shape.
I
Basically.
know.
She's
I
like,
think so. But that's one thing I didn't
my
like.
mom
They
a
just-
rebel. I never.
Wow. The things you find out.
Insane.
It's a rebel.
Now I know where I get it from.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So yeah, I don't think it was different.
Did you learn English in Mexico?
No.
So you moved here at 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Your senior year? Well, how did that translate, or how did that transfer over
Okay. So when
from Mexico? Yeah.
So when my dad, because my dad, the reason why he was
Going back and forth.
is because he didn't want to bring a whole family illegally, right?
Yeah.
He didn't want that. He didn't want us
That's
to
risky business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to be worried that we're gonna be deported, and he did
Yeah.
not want to do that.
That's a lot of
So
stress.
he waited for 16 years. So,
oh my
finally
God.
it
That's
took
a long
16 years for all of us to fix our green card and everything. So,
Okay.
so then that's when we finally came to the United States. That's when I had to learn English.
So
and,
you moved here at 16 and you went straight to school. Was it junior year, senior year?
yeah, so I was 16 years old, and because I didn't speak the language, they said you are underage still, So we came to Richmond. We came to live in Richmond, and so I started my 11th grade, my junior year, in Richmond. The school was called Harry Ellis or something like that.
Without knowing any English.
No.
Holy shit. How did that feel? Coming to a country. First off, how was it first coming to America? Do you remember that experience? Like, whoa, this is America.
Oh yes, I do remember really good.
Can you tell me?
So we when we left Mexico, we came in the train,
wow.
and then we stopped in Mexicali. That's where we were gonna get all the paperwork. And
It's funny because
everything.
Jared's from Calexico. That's the right.
That's exactly
border,
where we
Wait, so your first experience in America was Calexico?
Calexico.
Shout out Jared!
So then it was a long day, right? It was a long week, the traveling, and then we spent hours getting all the paperwork ready. And then, so when we crossed the border, we were starving. So my dad, Abuelito Chano, he took us to Burger King. There was Burger King, right?
No way!
wow.
We were starving,
Yeah.
so it's like I had never had a hamburger before, never in my whole entire life,
like, what is
never.
this?
In Mexico, there were no hamburgers back then.
Yeah.
There were now
Yeah.
that there's hamburgers now.
Yeah.
Back then, Mom, what's
there was
the
no
what's the year?
hamburgers.
What's the year back then?
That was 1982.
Okay, cool. Just wanted
There was
kind of a timeline.
1982. There was no hamburgers in Mexico. To make
Dang.
it clear.
No
hamburgers.
no hamburgers in Mexico.
Mexico.
You found out here.
So let me tell you.
Yeah.
So what happened? He orders for everybody, and then I had my first bite of that hamburger,
Oh my god.
and on those fries, and I said, "Where you been all my life?" I love the burgers. I
You're
was
like, and I'm proud to be an American.
She learned English that day, bro.
that was,
She's like, God
I
bless
was like,
America. What?
It was just, oh my God,
that's awesome. That's
amazing.
crazy. That's crazy.
I love the burgers. I was like,
It had to be a memorable
my
experience
God.
because
Oh
you
my
took
God.
such a detail.
It was because I had never tasted something
Yeah.
like that before.
That is crazy.
I was just like, I forgot for a minute that I have left Mexico.
Oh my god.
I forgot my sadness for a moment.
That was another thing I was gonna ask.
Uh-huh.
When you found out you were moving from Mexico,
Right.
how did you feel? What was that reaction? Your whole life, basically, 16 years.
Yeah, imagine,
Especially as a
Yeah.
teenager, you think this is my whole life.
Yeah.
Especially in that age,
That's such a
your
hard
friends,
age.
your friends are more important, even more than
Yeah.
your
Oh, of
family.
course.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the more you don't really socialize with your family at that age.
No.
You
You wanna
socialize
be with
more
your friends.
with your friends,
Yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
I was going through.
Yeah.
I didn't socialize so much with my sisters. It was just my friends.
Because you guys are basically coworkers, always forced to work together.
no.
Clocking in. All right.
No, it was just different
yeah.
because I had a different schedule than my sisters because
Okay.
they would go to school in the morning, I would go to school in the afternoon, so we were not together.
I did not know that was a
Wow.
thing.
Yeah.
So there's different times
No,
you
there's
could go to
different
school.
times. Yeah, different times because when I was in high school, they were in elementary school, like my youngest sisters.
Yeah.
Tia Irma was working already. But like my youngest sisters, they would go to school in the morning, I would go to school in the afternoon, so we won't see each other.
Wow.
So
Okay.
then I wasn't really socializing with anybody because I was
okay.
just always doing my homework, cleaning, doing whatever I need to do at home, my chores, whatever. But my life was school. My life
Gotcha.
was my friends.
Yeah.
So when they finally said, okay, we leaving, it's like, I just could not believe
Yeah.
it, because I had dreams. I wanted to be a math teacher. I had my dreams. I wanted to, I have already dreaming all these things. And then just to know that I'm going to a country where I don't even speak the language.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen to me. I don't know if I'm gonna become a teacher anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
It's a lot, especially at
discouraging.
16 years
Yeah,
old.
it
You're
is,
like, what?
it is.
What's going on?
At
What am
that
I gonna
age, you
do?
probably
It
think your
is.
whole world's falling apart.
Yeah,
It is.
Especially
It
if
Yeah,
of
is.
course
it's a
you're that
lot.
dramatic, right?
Yeah. No, but it's
Shit,
it is
not
tough.
knowing
It
the
is tough.
language is
Yeah, that's
what
even
the hell?
that's even harder. I couldn't imagine.
yeah.
That's-
It is. It was hard. It was hard.
How
It's
and then so you're in America and you
Mm-hmm.
I remember you telling me this, you had to translate all your homework.
yeah. So when I started in high school, I was in junior, right? And but I still wanted to go to college. So I
Yeah,
talked to
you
my
still wanted to-
counselors.
yeah.
I talked to my counselors. The good thing is the counselors in school, they were Hispanic,
That
and they
worked
were
out,
helping
yeah.
me so much.
Oh, that's great.
And so they said, I told them, I still want to go to college. Can you
wanna
help
see my
me,
dream."
prepare me
Yeah.
to go to college because I really want to do that. So they said, okay, you're gonna take, you need to take math, so we're gonna put you in geometry.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, that's fine. And then you have to take ESL classes so that
So
you
you
can
have to
learn the
learn it,
language,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I still had like history and English. So I had history and English,
wow.
and I have geometry. Those are the hardest ones that I
Yeah.
have when I was junior. So I had to translate my books from English to Spanish so I can study.
God, that's crazy.
And
That's insane.
the worst thing is that I was taking geometry, right? And my teacher could not believe that I was getting A's in my exams because he could not believe that someone that doesn't speak English could not get
Wow,
A.
that's terrible.
He
Yeah.
didn't believe
That's
the work
terrible.
you're putting in.
No,
Wow.
no, no, no.
What a
And then
motherfucker.
my cousin was in the same class, so he kept asking my cousin, she's cheating because there's no way that she can get good grades, you know, and not knowing the language. And then my cousin would say, you know, but she translates her book and she does her homework and she goes to bed almost at 1, 2 in the morning every day. So,
Wow.
yeah, that's
not
why
giving
she's
you the
getting good
credit.
grades.
That's
But he would
terrible.
not believe that, to the point that when I transferred from, I was in that school only 1 year, and then we transferred to Union City
Yeah.
and
Okay.
James Logan.
Okay.
I did my senior year there. When he transferred my transcripts and everything, he gave me a C in geometry, but I never knew.
That motherfucker.
Wow, that's
I never
so
I
knew
want
that.
his name. I'm gonna beat his ass. I don't care if he's old.
He might not be
I never
around.
knew. No, he probably not.
Yeah, he's probably not around.
But anyway,
Sorry, bud.
that's
Motherfucker.
what happened. You know,
That's crazy. That's
it
terrible.
was discouraging because
Yeah.
I worked so hard and
Oh my god.
It's like someone didn't want to believe,
I felt,
and give you the credit
yeah,
for it,
yeah,
and that's terrible.
yeah.
So quick to assume that. That's,
I know. And he will check my table. He would check in front of everybody. He would check my table. He would check my books,
that's
my arms, just to make sure that I wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
you couldn't believe it because the kids that could speak English couldn't get good enough grades,
All right.
and someone that doesn't, is not from here, that was willing to put in the effort,
Right.
it like shocks people because there's a lot of people that's like that, and it's like they can't believe it. You know,
And
and it's-
unfortunately, but
yeah.
you know,
Mom, when would you say you started becoming like more fluent in English? How old were you? You started learning at 16.
yeah. So you know, I started because I was translating everything my
Wow,
work.
okay.
I learned really quick to read,
course.
Yeah.
to read it and write it.
Okay.
Wow.
That was fast. I mean,
Okay.
maybe within a year,
Wow.
right?
Holy
But but to
Nice.
speak, I was embarrassed.
Really?
course.
Yes,
Yeah, I can
could not-
imagine, yeah,
Yes,
it's
because
hard.
I was afraid that they were gonna make fun of my accent,
Yeah.
fun of me or
Yeah.
something. And I was really afraid. So I did not probably until much later when I met your dad. He's the one that forced me to speak.
Oh,
No
wow.
way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
until you
Jeez.
met your dad, I still didn't speak.
So, I mean, now that you mentioned him,
Uh-huh.
you graduated high school, of course, you're a genius.
Oh,
Then,
Yeah.
after high school, you met Pops, like shortly after? Because Dad's a few years older than you, right? He's like 2 years older.
Yeah, he's 2 years.
So
No, I met your dad when I was a senior in high school.
tell us.
Okay.
Tell the crowd.
Yeah. So I met your dad. The reason I met your dad is because remember my dad used to come back and forth to the
Yes.
United
Yeah.
States. So whenever he was in the United States, he would rent an apartment that was close to Nana Rosie
Oh, really?
and Grandpa.
Okay.
So he met them. My Abuelito Chano met him, and he will go drink coffee with them. So
wow.
Abuelito Chano,
And Grandpa
Already hanging out.
we're
They're
friends,
buddies.
They're
and not
hanging.
just that. Your dad probably saw your dad grow. Your grandpa saw your dad growing up more than me.
Oh my
Because my dad
God.
will see me only
Wow.
once a year, but he will see your dad
my
more
God.
all the time
Yeah,
when he was
right?
over here. Wow,
I
that's
never
crazy.
thought about that.
Yes,
That's
yeah. He
nuts.
probably saw him.
That's
growing
probably
up.
why he didn't approve right away.
Hey, I know you. What the?
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
This guy, I know him.
I know him. Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. Okay.
So,
Yep.
so they're friends, and so how'd you meet Pops?
Oh,
How, yeah,
okay.
how did-
So
how did
then
it
we
come of
came.
it?
So when we came from Mexico, Nana Rosie, being the kind woman that she is,
Sweetheart. You guys know her.
your dad had joined the Air Force,
Yes.
and he was going to leave soon, and so Nana Rosie had a farewell party for him,
Yeah.
like a picnic
Yeah.
party. And so she remembered, Nana Rosie remembered that we had just came from Mexico. And so she said, oh, you know what? It'd be nice for the girls to have some fun. And
Yeah.
so she
Try to get
invited.
comfortable. Okay.
Yeah, so she
Yeah.
I think
invited
she
my
knew. I
dad.
think she kind of knew.
Set that up a little bit.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But then, no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
But then my dad, we went to the
Party.
picnic.
Yeah.
We went to
Okay.
the picnic, and your dad says that when he saw me, he asked Nana Rosie right away, Mom, who's
That
that
white
girl?
girl.
I know. Who's that girl? And then she says, that's Chano's daughter. And then he's like, what? Chano has a daughter? And then Nana says, no, she has 4 daughters.
Oh,
And then he
like,
says,
"What?"
no, I like the blondie one. Says, when I come back from from training,
yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
start dating her and I'm going to marry her.
Wow.
Just like that.
Called
First
it.
time.
Called
First
it.
time. That's what he said. And Nana
She
confirms
attests
that.
to that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she said that he
He did, in
testified
fact,
to
say that.
he said that.
So how did it happen? How did it start?
Okay,
What
so
the
then-
heck? So the party happens. My dad's like, okay, you.
That's it, right?
He's like,
Dang.
that's the turkey I want. But I
Oh
get back. So then he
A turkey.
Like, what?
I don't think I
A
want
turkey
to
with-
Or like a
compare
peacock,
with the
whatever.
turkey.
Man, a turkey?
Well, you're in America. Come on, it's a big thing. Thanksgiving. Come on.
Oh my god.
So how does Dad shoot a shot?
Well,
How-
we
how does
had
that
we
happen?
had a couple, older couple. They were friends with Abuelito Chano and with Nana Rosie. They were friends. So then your dad was very smart. He started talking to her and says,
Okay.
you know what? I really like Carmen.
He's
Okay,
he's
he's putting the work in.
Seeds.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
Saying
playing. So he
seeds.
says, maybe next time, that I go, maybe we can, and so she right away said, yes, let's
Okay.
arrange
She's
this.
like,
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
I
so
like what I'm hearing.
so then that was in October, I think it was when September, October, when the picnic.
Okay.
So your dad came back in February. By then she had a birthday party for her husband, the lady.
Okay.
Irene, her name was Irene. So she had a birthday party. So she invited us, and then she invited Dad.
Okay.
And that's where everything started.
Then, that's where
What
it
did he
all
go up to
happened.
you? What he say? He saying what's
Well,
up?
we started talking.
Okay.
Did he go up
And
to
he
you?
had changed a lot, believe me.
Because you.
He had changed a lot because let me tell you, when I met him in the picnic, he was like very immature to me.
Didn't
The
he?
way
Didn't you think he was too
acted.
macho and like he thought he was the shit? Kind
Yes,
of deal?
I thought
Okay.
so.
Oof.
Yeah,
Okay.
he thought he was all bad.
Yeah.
So then I, when he came back from the Air Force, he was totally different. Like he looked
gentleman?
like in 6 months, he had already become a man. He
Wow.
looked so
Yeah.
different.
So they just had changed when he went
He
over there.
changed a lot.
Yeah.
He changed
Yeah.
a lot. He changed his attitude,
Yeah.
everything. So So that's like, okay, I like this guy better.
Okay. Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah. So then, that's when. But what really got me, I guess, that was in February. The party was like around February 5th or something like that. For Valentine's Day, your dad sent me a bouquet of flowers in a box. It was the first flowers I ever received. So,
Oh wow,
you
that's
know,
awesome.
it was
What?
amazing.
Wow,
From
that's
the Air
crazy.
Force?
No, he was.
Oh, he
no,
was-
I think he was still there. He was still there.
He was-
because he went to training,
Yeah.
came back, and I think that he was stationed in Sacramento right away.
Oh,
okay.
wow,
So
okay.
but he sent me the flowers,
Wow.
and it's like, I was like, wow.
Was everyone like,
That's-
who gave you those?
Yeah, I mean,
I
I was
can
doing. I
imagine.
remember I was doing homework. You
Yeah.
know, they knock on the door.
Typical nerd girl,
Yeah,
popular
I
guy.
was.
What is this?
I was doing my homework in the kitchen, and then they knock on the door, and they give. I don't remember who received the flowers.
Was
and
it one
they
of the
said,
tias though?
Probably,
Okay,
yeah. And just, these are for you, Carmelita. You know, I was like, what?
Damn!
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So when I opened it and I saw his name, I was like, of course in Spanish, son de Martín, el hijo de Alfredo. I mean, because I only speak Spanish to my
Yeah.
sister. You know? Yeah.
That's
So I thought that was so romantic. And I never experienced that before. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Can you tell the quick story of
Uh-huh.
how you were gonna break the rules once and you didn't want to?
Oh,
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Could you? Is that okay? I
Yeah,
love
sure.
That. I love that
Yes,
story. It's so
you
cute.
do. Okay. Well, my dad was very strict. You know, he has his old rules that I could not go out by myself with my boyfriend that time. My husband now, my boyfriend.
Yeah.
So then
All your dates. You had your sister.
all the days, yeah. One of my sisters had
Oh,
to
wow.
go, but one time, your dad, you know, my husband told me, hey, you know, I'm gonna take the day off, and why don't we go to San Francisco?
dang.
And
You're going to Chabot at this point, right?
I was going to
Okay.
Chabot now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
not in high school.
Junior college.
I'm
Gotcha.
in junior
Junior
college
college.
now.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm older now.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
You're not a child.
I'm not a child.
Yeah.
I'm probably like 19, 20 years old already.
Well,
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
So then he tells me, let's go to San
be
Francisco.
rebellious.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, Dad's a rebel, so come on, Carmen.
So I'm like, oh God. I'll say, okay, all right. Okay, I'm gonna go then.
Yeah, I'll lie to my parents.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie to my parents, I guess. So the night before, I got my backpack and everything and pretending I was gonna go to school the next day. But I
Preparing her
but I
bag,
just-
like shaking. Going to school.
But I just could not do it. You know, I just could not lie to my mom. I just could not. Not so much my dad, but it was my mom that, you know, I talked to her the night before. I said, Mom, you know what? Tomorrow morning, I wasn't planning to go to school. I was planning to go to San Francisco with Martin, you know, and I just wanted you to know because I don't want to lie to you. And she says, oh, mija, but what if something happens to you? And you know, I'm worried about you. What if something happens? I said, Mom, nothing's gonna happen. We're gonna be okay. We're just gonna go hang out in San Francisco, Pier 39. We're just gonna have a good time, Mom. Don't worry. I'm gonna be okay. All right, be very careful. So okay. Well, at night I just couldn't sleep.
yeah.
I could not sleep.
Anxious.
It was on your conscience.
Anticipating it.
Yeah,
and
just the idea of my mom being worried about me.
Yeah.
I said, I can't do that to her.
Yeah.
So I got up in the morning and I called your dad. I said, you know what? I'm sorry. I can't go. I cannot go. And then he was kind of mad. It's like, okay, talk to you later.
God
Yeah,
dang.
and I didn't even he even hang up. I think so. I think I don't
the
remember
hell,
exactly, but I
Dad?
think he hang up. And
What's the
then
problem, man?
and then so when I'm leaving to school, my mom got up right away. She was worried.
Yeah.
So she got up right away and then Mija, why are you taking your backpack? Because I was taking my backpack. Mom, I'm not going to San Francisco. I'm going to school. And she hugged me. She hugged me and she kissed me. And my mom to hug
I was
you.
to say.
My mom was not the type of person that will hug. Because she didn't learn that.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
hugged her. She grew up,
It was hard.
12
Yeah.
kids. She grew
Wow.
up in a family
Yeah.
of 12 kids,
Wow.
and
It
there
just
was
wasn't
not
like
much.
that.
There was
Yeah.
not like that. There was
Yeah.
not
course.
love was not shown.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was very hard for her to show love even to
Wow.
us.
So that was a moment. A really
So
good
that was a
moment.
moment when she hugged me. I'm like, wow, she hugged me.
You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this
It
was worth it.
The honesty.
It was worth it not going, even if
I guess
Yeah.
being honest is good.
I guess yeah.
Wow.
So I didn't go, and then
Okay.
so then I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking, if he's mad at me, I'm talking about your dad. If he's mad at me because of this, I'm breaking up with him. That's it. I'm
Yeah.
breaking up with him.
Oh my God.
So he's supposed to meet me that day
Yeah.
after school because I was gonna go to school and I was taking the BART, and then he was gonna meet me at the BART and we're gonna walk to my house.
Okay.
So I said, if he's still mad at me, I'm gonna break up with him.
Oh my God.
And so when I got there, he's there already.
Does he
Waiting
look,
for
does
me.
he look, man?
He was
He's putting on a
pretending.
show.
Yeah, he's
I
pretending.
know. I knew it. I was like,
He
he's
was
probably putting on a show.
pretending. He
He's
was
like,
pretending. And then I said, are you still mad? And then he says, no, I'm not. I said, oh, I'm glad you're not mad. I said, no. And then he said, guess what? I said, what? He said, my mom told me that you were not going to go.
Wow.
Nana Rosie told your dad
Wow.
she's not going.
she's like, that's not Av Carmen.
That's not Carmen.
Wow.
He said, she's not going.
Damn.
I'm like, holy moly, I'm glad I didn't go.
Yeah,
Because
wow,
then,
Mom.
I don't know, she had this idea. I don't know.
that means Nana Rosie viewed you very highly of you. Then.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
To have
so I
that
was like,
confidence to say that.
oh my God, I'm glad
She's a
I
good
didn't
girl,
go.
yeah.
Your dad was probably more frustrated that Nana was right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Than
Exactly.
anything.
He's
Not
like,
even that you said
Fine.
that you couldn't go. That he was like, she was right. Dang
Exactly.
it.
Nana's probably like, what'd she say? I don't want to talk about it, Mom.
I can see that all happening, man. That's
Probably.
crazy. That's
Probably.
awesome.
Mom, before we close out, we still got some time, but this is what I want to talk about. Like, very important.
Mhm.
What I admire about you the most is you got married, you had your family, and you still focused on your education.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
What the hell?
That is
4
crazy.
kids. Oh. How did you decide you were going to go back to school? Because you said you took a break, right?
So no. So what happened is that after I got my A degree in Chabot, I got an A
you got
degree.
like an A or
yeah, I got
something?
an A degree in
Okay.
management information systems. So then I transferred to Sacramento State because your dad
Stingers
was
up? Mom, throw stingers up real quick. Yeah! Okay. So you transferred to
because
Sac
yeah
State.
because your dad was going to re-enlist in the Air Force.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's why I transferred to Sacramento State.
Okay.
Okay.
We had made plans that we're gonna get married. I transferred, he re-enlists, and then
Okay.
Yeah, you
Go
you
do
from there.
career
Yeah.
here. So then what happened? I started going to school in Sacramento State, but your dad ended up not re-enlisting because they were gonna send him to Korea,
Oh,
and then I
wow.
wasn't gonna be able to go. So he said, "Forget it."
Were you guys
That's
married at this?
crazy.
You guys were married
Yes, we were
right?
already
Okay.
married. Yeah, we
That's
were already
crazy.
married. So he
Korea.
says no.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
I
So
can
they
You just
imagine.
got married. I don't
we
want
just
to-
got
Yeah,
married, and I
yeah.
cannot leave her. So then that's when he started working in Broadway.
Yeah.
Right away. So then I started going to school, but then your dad was feeling really lonely. So then he asked me, right, let's have a baby. He says, I really help you. I will help you. I will help you, and so that things will be easier.
It's not going to be like how you were
No.
like raised, where
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be different. I'm gonna help you. And I said, okay.
you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to it,
Exactly.
Marty.
That's right. So then we have Joseph, and then
Yeah.
unfortunately when In the beginning, I was going to school and have met a couple of friends that we were studying together. We were taking courses together. And so when I had a baby, Joseph was born in March.
Okay.
So I had to take the whole semester off.
Oh wow.
So then by the time I started in the fall again,
They were already.
they were already ahead
you
of
had
me.
fallen behind a
course.
little bit.
I already have.
Oh, wow.
So then that's when things started getting more difficult
I
for
could
me.
imagine.
That's tough. you
Yeah.
know?
Because I was on my own pretty much
And
studying.
you're discouraged, and it's hard to be by yourself. That's
But
hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And then, so the baby had been born. So your dad was working nights. In the morning, he's taking care of Joseph. And then I go to school.
Wow.
And then I come back right away because I have to take care
Can't
of the baby
socialize.
Yeah.
so that he can start, so that he can,
go to
sleep.
Yeah.
So that he can
go
sleep,
to work.
you know.
Wow.
So that was, and then so things got more complicated when
Yeah.
Nico was born, and
Yeah.
then when you were born, right? So, but it was really hard.
It like
It was
caused
really-
havoc.
Yeah. So you saying how I did it? It was really hard. There was many times that I was very depressed. I was depressed. I got into depression because I was used to be an A student. Remember,
Yeah.
I was always the top student. Well, I can't be the top student when I'm
Raising
taking
four
care of
knuckleheads.
Well, 3. Amanda
Oh,
was
Amanda
not born
wasn't
yet.
born yet.
Uh-huh. So, you know, I can't be a
Yeah.
student anymore.
Yeah.
And so I was depressed.
Yeah, I
But if it wasn't, you know, I think what really motivated me is the idea that I've already started something, right?
Yeah.
And just thinking that one day in my deathbed, if I reflect on my life and I think about everything that I did, and that I saw that I spent all these years at school sacrificing my husband, sacrificing time with my kids and quality time with my kids, and then don't finish, that would be a big regret for me.
Yeah.
So I said, no, I have to finish. I have to finish. So that motivated me, but it's not enough just a motivation, right?
Force.
You need a force. You need a
Push.
strength.
Yeah.
You need that. And God was my strength. God has always been my strength. He's been my Mamita Maria. She's always been there for me. Always been there. And so with their help, I made it. And so far, I even going through marriage with your dad and having the kids and being on our own, because our family is in Union City. We had no one to help us. It's just the two of us.
Yeah.
We need to take turns. We need to help each other out. And then without your dad's help, there's no way. I mean, I sincerely don't know a man that has given so much in his life like your dad. All the sacrifice. I never seen him, hijo. Not my brothers, not my own father, nobody. The sacrifice that he's done for his kids, for his family.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
And so, you know, so we were a team, and we still a team. And thank God, you know, that he put both of us in our own way, right? Yeah. And that's how marriage is supposed to be. You know, you got married, and you're gonna get married one day, Stephen.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, it's 100%, 100 and 100, not 50-50, 100 and 100. You help. We're one person now. Yeah. You do, you know what you like doing. Okay, it's funny, you know, because your dad, you know, one day I told him I need your help, and he says, okay, how? Just tell me how. And I said, well, what do you want to do? And then he says, I cook. He says, I will cook. I said, what? Yes, please cook. You know, that's when I was going to school. It's like, well, you should have asked me. I was like, okay, I should have asked you a long time ago.
It's crazy that
Yes.
communicating.
Yes, exactly.
works.
It does
Yes.
a lot. It does a
yes,
lot. It does
yes.
a lot.
Do you feel like maybe
Yes.
because growing up there was like not really that communication, so you didn't
No.
know? How do you know to
No.
do something
No,
that
no,
you
no,
don't
no,
know?
no. Right,
Yeah.
especially I didn't want to ask him to do stuff like that because I was raised to
That was your job.
my job.
Yeah.
Cooking was my job. Cleaning was my job. And even my mom was very surprised when she found out that my husband is cooking. It's like,
I feel
what?
it. I feel
you
it.
don't feel bad?
I love
You
cooking
don't feel
too.
that
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
cooking?
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
You know, but
Yeah, it's
you know,
awesome.
I think
Found
it's
that
just
balance.
Yeah.
we found the balance. You know, with his support, with God's support, and just you can do things. You know, if you love someone, you're gonna support them. You love someone, you're gonna help each other out.
Yeah.
It's a team
And-
effort.
Yeah,
Team
it's
effort.
a team
You
effort.
get-
Team
yeah,
effort. You
100%.
know, you remember, Steven, that would take you to practices.
Yeah.
I'll help you with homework. We just split the
I
work.
just-
You know,
You just do the best way you can.
And
That's
best way
it.
that
It was
we
like
can.
clockwork. I don't know how they
Yes.
freaking did it. Genuinely. Genuinely.
Yeah, but you know, Mijo, we do that because we love you guys so much. We want the best for you. And it's not a sacrifice. It's just we had to do it. That you had to do what you had to do to make things, you know. Hopefully, I mean, there's one thing. Honestly, I can honestly tell you that we did our best as parents. We couldn't. I don't think we could have done any better. And if we made a lot of mistakes, we apologize. But that's the best that we could.
Yeah, you're learning at the
we
same
did.
time.
We did our best.
It's a learning experience for everybody.
For everybody. Yeah.
You know, like I couldn't even imagine being a parent. It's crazy for me to think. You know, I couldn't imagine trying to raise a human and make sure that they can fit into this world, and you're worried about everything.
No, but once you see
know.
that baby in your arms, forget it.
That's what I hear. I hear
That's
that all
it.
the time.
Don't worry about it. God,
You know,
don't worry about it.
I'll
God,
find out
God
sooner
will
than
give
later.
you the strength and the wisdom and to raise them. Don't worry. Yeah.
Well, Mom, that's gonna do it for us.
Thank you so much for being on the show. It's awesome to have you on.
Thank
Here's
you
your
for
stuff.
having
Yeah,
me.
thank you for
Thank
sharing
you,
everything
yeah.
and for all the sacrifices
No.
and
The
the
guidance.
unconditional love and
Yes.
prayers when I definitely didn't deserve them.
The guidance and everything. You know, so
No,
very
thank
thankful.
you. Thank you for having me. And I'm so happy that you guys are doing something that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fun.
Exactly.
I wish you the best. I know you guys gonna get somewhere.
I hope so.
Yes, you
This might be
will.
the episode that does it. We never know. We never know.
Exactly. Well, Mom, thank you.
Very
and
proud of you guys.
ending
Very
with,
proud of you guys.
I'm proud of you too, and I
Thank
take
you.
a lot of
Yes.
pride in calling my
Thank you,
mom.
and I love you
Yes.
guys.
Love you.
Love you too, dear Garmin.
Peace.
See ya.
Yeah.
Awesome. There you go. Very nice.
Wow, you were amazing.
That was awesome.
That was
Good
so
job, dear Carmen.
smooth. That was
awesome.
perfect.
That was perfect.
That was
Okay, good.
perfect.
That
No,
came out
well, I'm
great.
glad you were able to.
I-
just
we
ask the
got you,
questions.
so
We do
Okay.
this. We do this for
Okay.
a living,
Imagine.
dear Carmen.
Like,
This is,
I saw when it was slowing down. Okay, next question. You know, next
Okay,
thing.
okay.
Ne-
it's part of our. It's part of our job. It's part of our job.
Oh,
We're here
Mom,
just to
how-
guide.
How much do we get? Actually, because 42. Okay, this says 42. That's like 39.